Thank you everyone so much for your time and participating in this session and sharing your experience. I think people are showing up as well. So, but we could start. It's about time. Today we have Amanda from Sinergia Animal to act as our moderator, and we have Kylie have Ruli and Scott from World Animal Protection and Sống, Thuần, Chay in Vietnam. Welcome, and yes, please, Amanda, it's over to you.
Thank you. So hi, everybody. Welcome to our session. This is the Consumer Engagement and Behavior Change session. My name is Amanda again. I am from Sinergia Animal. I will be your moderator today. So I am the Communications and Corporate Engagement Manager, and soon I will be moved towards the enforcement work in Asia to make sure companies fulfill their commitments. So again, welcome everybody. We're very excited for this session. So I'd like to remind you again that this session is recorded, and please be sure to mute your microphone during the presentation. That would be great. So this is my first time moderating, so please bear with me. I'm very excited, but yeah, so I'll try to do my best to facilitate. I will be the timekeeper, and during the presentation, if anybody has any questions, please save it at the end, but feel free to send them in the chat at any time and I will keep track for you. So this is the NGO session for Asia Farm Animal Day 2021. The objective of this session is to equip NGOs with knowledge of how to make their behavior change efforts have real, effective outcomes. We hope this will be a great opportunity for us to learn more, to connect, and the duration of this is 60 minutes. So thank you for joining us today. We have two amazing speakers. We have the first person is Ruli. So I'll give a little bit of introduction for Ruli. So Ruli Prayoga is a nature lover, a high mountain explorer, as well as animal enthusiast and a planet Earth activist. He has worked for several organizations in conservation, climate change, poverty, and combating the illegal wildlife trade. He is now engaging in animal welfare issues for world animal protection, and especially on broiler welfare issues. Leading the organization corporate engagement work in Indonesia as campaign manager. Ruli wants to bring positive change on people and believes a sustainable earth can be achieved by ensuring high animal welfare. So Ruli, if you want to say hi again to everybody.
Hey everyone.
Thank you
for having me here. Really exciting.
Thank you. And then we also have Scott Greene. Scott is the founder and the director of Vietnam's largest vegan advocacy organization called Sống, Thuần, Chay. He's a British design and branding graduate, a teacher, and have lived in Vietnam since 2011. Since the formation of Sống, Thuần, Chay in late 2018, they have partnered with Challenge 22, and their cause has been recognized by EA, ProVeg, and EVA. Scott also has prepared a video for us today, and he will be participating, of course, in our Q&A session. So Scott, if you want to say hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So yeah, I look forward to sharing some of my insights. I think Vietnam is quite a unique place to do this kind of work. So yeah, hopefully it can be beneficial for people.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, so again, please make sure your microphone is muted and save your question at the end, but feel free to send them at any time. I will keep them for you. And Ruli, I think if you're ready to go, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Amanda. So today I want to share my key learning. Currently, WAP now working with consumer organizations. So we call the program is investing in others in Indonesia. So there's a lot of interesting finding during the journey of this program. And then I think it's really, really good that I can share to you, and then we can discuss and learning more on this, and for sure, hopefully it can be useful for our movement, our organization. So thank you, Amanda. I will start here. So first thing that talking about the consumers, and then talking about the I'm specifically talking about the broilers. Broilers is really, really close with the food, with the supply chains. It means that it's really close with the consumer itself. So I found that on the last year research, and we have to really see that what kind of the positioning of the consumer behavior in here, that now the market is really being forced to hold the supply chains more agile to face the changing consumer behavior. So now it's the consumer behavior is a bit changed, especially during the pandemic. So it's really have a big change on the how consumers, especially on the purchasing behavior, and the way they're choosing their product. So it's kind of different, because today consumer is increasing network and better informed. During the pandemic, most of consumers they use the internet for sure, for learning about their product, and how they build their optional decision making process through that's we have to really see that this is our stance, that the supply chains is really big affected by the consumer behavior, especially on the network and the better informed. The next one. So yeah, and how we can when you're talking about the behavior, we have to really also define what are the what is the circumstance that an individual as a consumer can change their choice. So I put in here that environmental circumstance and economic factors, social factors, and technological factors can be influence consumer in their choice behavior. And I found that it's really interesting when I came into the issues of food. Sorry. Done. Sorry. So when we came into the factor that can influence the consumer behavior, we can see that in the food industry especially, we found that the consumer are to be concerned about the food safety risk. So this one, the food safety risk is really impacting their purchase behavior, that it can be already being stated in 2001. Actually, this is some research about this. So I want to highlight that when consumers want to change their choice behavior, the food safety risk become the most concern. That's how I start with the food, the broiler campaign in Indonesia. When we're talking about the food, broiler, the supply chains and the consumer. So we see that this the food safety risk is to become their major issues. And back to the current consumer attribution, especially when talking about the broiler here or chicken here, that they all the current consumer attribution is meat, freshness, and chicken meat color, is especially in Indonesia. I think it's most in Asia, that the freshness is become the most important things, that that become the major consumer choice behavior. I want to fresh meat. I want to have the fresh chicken, but they didn't concern about the food safety risks before. So we want to transition with to add this consumer attribution into one factor is to put how to change these attributions, not only talking about the aroma, freshness, and meat color, but also talking about the food safety. That's how we work in Indonesia with the consumers organizations. So this is what I'm trying to say, that when we put situation of food unsafety, the consumer will be relieve their perceived risk and will be modifying their purchasing decisions. For instance, by reducing, shifting, postponing the purchase. This is really interesting that I found that in just recently when we do have a series of webinars, discussions with the consumer groups. So when they get information about the potential risk of the antimicrobial resistance in the broilers, so now they're trying to shift, their decisions. So whether I will continue to eat chicken, or I just reduce my chicken consumptions in a month. So I'm currently I ate chicken twice a week, so I want to reduce it. So this kind of things that it really happened at this moment, and then it's really proven this theory of when we put the food unsafety issue in the situations. For sure, we have to really back up with the strong science on this, strong research, and then yes, it will become a public issues. Then, when we already define our circumstance, our positioning, and our key behavior, the thing that we have to do is to find the right organizations, the appropriate organizations with have the same message with us, the same point of view, and I found that we have the YLKI, is the Yayasan Lembaga Konsumen Indonesia. It's a consumer right advocacy organization. So they really being proactive and actively engaged with the consumer issues, as you see in the slide, that they already have this is in 2006 when they have mobilized consumer to KFC because of the they say that the KFC has not transparent about the using of antibiotics in their product. So this is in 2006, and now we are engaged with the same issues, and also the most important things here is to engage, to have a collaboration with the media. You can see that in the next picture. This is the research that we did on the meat testing research. We're trying to find the antimicrobial resistance contaminations in the broiler, and we found that we really found that in our sample that yes, they are containing the antimicrobial resistance for some antibiotics, important antibiotics in Indonesia, and this is really huge in Indonesia because the media can be our amplifying our message to the public. So and this is also that something that really expecting by the consumers, so they can try to. So when we're talking about, we put the we put the situation that they can perceive the risk from the food. So this is how we do it. We discuss with the media, and then we bring this research, and also we working with the consumer organizations on this, and yeah, that's something that we try to do right now. And this is I shared to you the research, the consumer research that we conducted in 2019. So it also showed that the consumer is being transitions. This is in Indonesia. So we can see that the 63% is concerned about the antimicrobial resistance. Mean that when we define our target audience, when we define who will be which consumer that we want to do, so we can see here that the issue of the AMR, the antimicrobial resistance, is really suitable for as a game changer, you know, on how to put the food risk at their concern. And this is, I want to share also the last survey. I did it in July. It's only 100 respondents, but it's across country in Indonesia. And you can see that now the somehow, yeah, the consumers, they demanding the high welfare farming practice, you know, and even they want to boycott the low welfare animal products. The respondents came from the big cities. That's why can see that they have more concerns. This. So when we try to define who is our consumers, so we can know that from the previous slide that yes, the issue is first is we have to put the perceived risk on their concerns, and we found that the perceived risk is the AMR issues, and we can found that who are they? You know, they are in a mid up or B class or A class, B class audience, and then comes to the who are they. You know, when we come to who are they, we can see here that there's some profile that we can found that for the consumers, so we can know how we can change them. Yeah, for example, the responsible parents, you know. So when we found that this is the research by the PricewaterhouseCoopers in 2020. So we have like a responsible parents, stability seekers, fearless leader, concerned elderly, and find here, and bored millennials. Yeah. So when we come to this, that how they can change, and where the best or the impactful change will be happen, we can see that here that for the responsible parents, they always continue to shop for the groceries online. Yeah. And how this is how we can try to put our campaign, where we have to put our campaign, and what kind of messaging that we have put our campaign. On the latest row, we can see that how to connect with this type. Now, for example, that reliable online low touch option, family friendly option. So perhaps to get the responsible parents, we have to put our key message more on the, you know, family friendly, you know, the importance of the food, where's the food come from, and again put the safety risk on the frame of the family options, you know. So this is how we can put it here. And how about the bored millennials? We can see that when we want to connect with this type, we have to get more personal or less transitional here. We have to really put. That's why the social media can become strategic, because this is more personal. Even though it's wide, but the message is personal. Is from me to you. So this is really important, and loyalty oriented experience to increase upsell and cross sell rates means that I saw some colleagues that when they try to campaign with the social media, they only just doing just once or two or even a week post. Bored millennials, they need consistency. They need loyalty oriented. That's why they always choose their or subscribe their YouTube channel, for example. So that's the opposite. They subscribe. So we want to and we have to provide the updated informations or follow up informations regarding our issues when we want to target them. Okay, so this is we can see. I can share this presentation to you so you can learn more about that. Then what we can do. This is the pragmatic steps. You can see the icon, the the people icon in there. It's related to this one. If you see the difference, yeah, and then you can see that the yellow one is the elderly. So we went. This is the step that we want to do. For example, when we come to the elderly, number 2, yeah. Wait, I forgot. Okay, or bored millennials. So we have to provide a wow experience responsibility. Wow experience means, for example, that if you try to choose the high welfare products, you can, have an impact to the environment. You have an impact to the chicken, for example, yeah, and then to not to avoid their suffering, and then for your health, so that we have to provide more experience. Or if we buy a high welfare product, means that you will be avoid on the AMR contaminations. So that's why we have to put here. We cannot, if you see number 1, the box number 1, you cannot put the brand emotional intelligence into this. For example, that using this product, to responsible parents. So this is really a step that what kind of the intervention that we want to do to each type of audience here. Okay, so I will move again. So how we work. So in first thing, we have to really define which our consumer that we want to target. We want to target the like bored millennial, or young mothers, or fearless leaders, or responsible parents. We have to really define, because we cannot target it all. For example, for sure. But if you have a lot of resources, lot of staff, a lot of the support, perhaps, But yes, we have to really strategic which one that we want to change their behavior. Then we have to really put the psychological aspect, underlying the psychological aspect. As I mentioned before, is build urgency on perceived risk. So I put here as an example, factory farm as a source of the antimicrobial resistance. This is the perceived risk for their food. And then after that, for sure, the flow of key messaging and call to actions. What we want to do, what we want to move the consumer, what we want to change their behavior steps. So here that we want to put as I show you on the previous slide that in our survey, they say that they want to have change on the producers, and then they want to put the high welfare at first. So yeah, we try to follow what they want there, and then because they want to boycott if the some companies didn't want to put this high welfare at first. Next step is to work with the consumer groups organizations, or the organization can be support your point of view, your framework, your strategy, and for sure then we try to educate and mobilize. So this step that we are working on here in Indonesia is still in progress, and yeah, I will go to the next slide. So how the strategies work. One that most important things is we want to put the most audience informed. First inform, then align. Yeah, and there's a problem, and we can define the problem solution, the problem solving into the actions. So this is we want to change their behavior in the step one is try to get this. So for the audience informed, for sure we have a lot of options here. We can do training, we can do podcasts, we can do posters, you know. So yeah, we put information as many as we can, and then don't forget to monitor and evaluate their knowledge. And then audience align. So we have to involve them in an active activity. So it's not just ask them to join webinars, but also we can ask them to provide presentation for us, what they want, what they expected, or what they can learn from the previous sessions. And then, or we can ask them on what you can do in your community. So that's the aligned problem, and this is the actionable item that can move forward the consumers into the behavior that we want we expecting. So this is the key learning. The consumer is the most influential to make change on this campaign, because they have the power to purchase. They have the power to choose. If there's some product, they have power not to choose this one because I want to buy this one. And then raise concern on food safety and perceived risk is the most important things. When it comes to the public mobilizations or consumer engagement, try to target the retails or the nearest supply chain. Here the retails. Why? Because the retails has a brand, has the well-known brand. For example, when we come to the quick service restaurants, yes, we do have like KFC, McDonald's, and other things. Yeah. And try to find out the major suppliers of them. So we can try to influence them also. Why we not really want to campaigning or campaigning on the producers? Because somehow they not really have a brand, so they not, it will be less influence. Even today they have a power, but public seems not really care, you know. So for example, that when it comes into the KFC, who is the major supplier of chicken? Is a CP, Java, you know, in Indonesia. So Wonokoyo, nobody heard that before. So it's really hard to get the public engagement on this issue. And yes, that's how we try to engage the consumer. Working with consumer organization and media is a must. This is really important that one they can managing the consumers, and then another is the media is the most important things. And if we can do is we can try to influence the government regulations on the farm animal welfare through the consumer policies. In some countries, there are a consumer policy or regulation in place. So that's something that we can do to advocate them and using that as an entry point to check to influence the government regulations. So this is it, Amanda. Thank you. If there's any questions, so please.
Yeah,
Back
thank
to you.
Ruli. It's very interesting, and personally, I find it's very useful because we work in like similar roles, similar strategies. So I will definitely be taking a look at the presentation again. And for the sake of time, I think we will proceed with Scott's presentation first, and then we'll have the interactive Q&A at the end. So
Sure.
Scott, if you're ready. Okay. Thank you again, Ruli.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, so I prepared a video, but I don't know. Do you need me to play it or?
I can share it, Scott. I can share it on mine.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
I
you
don't know
so
if that would be
much.
more stable.
Right.
There we go. My beard's gone.
I couldn't hear it. Could you?
I
I think
okay.
the audio is not working.
Not working. Right. Any other people having the same problem? Because
Yeah.
okay, let me try. It's not muted. Can you hear now?
Not yet.
Okay, let me
You
try
want me
again.
to try? Yeah.
Yeah, you can try it, Amanda. Try it. Please.
When you share the screen, there's an option for video and sound. So to optimize for video. So maybe that could be the issue.
Just a second. I'm trying to. Video.
Hello, thank you for coming to my presentation. I'm deeply honored to share the story of my
Everybody
organization.
hear it?
If I were to badly describe what I do,
Yeah,
I would
great.
say
Thank
I
you.
encourage Vietnamese speakers to eat the things they were scared of as a child. To more accurately describe what I do, I'd say I'm the founder of Sống, Thuần, Chay, or STC, which was founded in 2019 as an online platform to share the benefits of a plant-based diet, as well as the numerous benefits of switching to a plant-based food system. We are partners with Challenge 22, an international vegan challenge program that invites vegan curious people to try a plant-based diet. STC manages the Vietnamese program and encourages people to try a plant-based diet for 7 days with all the information they need, supplemented with support from our trained volunteers. Today I'd like to discuss how STC goes about changing consumer attitudes towards plant-based eating. I'd like to share with you some of our best practices and the philosophy behind STC and our approach to make the world a better place for animals, specifically using social media, community building activities, and influencer marketing to help create awareness to our cause. My advocacy work was based on humble beginnings, doing face-to-face outreach, anonymous for the voiceless style, and creating vigils, inviting people to visit slaughterhouses and bear witness to the plight of farmed animals. The idea being that creating awareness of the cruelty behind factory farming would lead Vietnamese consumers to change their behavior. After some time, I realized that although well-intentioned, this intervention wasn't addressing the main concerns that Vietnamese people had regarding plant-based diets. These were health concerns and the effect that might have on their personal relationship. A study about attitudes towards vegetarianism published in 2020 with support from Faunalytics confirmed what we already knew. The takeaway was that advocates might want to promote the creation of vegan or vegetarian social groups to help enrich social relationships and dispel some stereotypes. So, what are those stereotypes? You may have seen variations on this meme, but essentially it portrays how various parts of society might see you. One of the things that we've encountered is that plant-based diets are strongly associated with religious endeavors, which we believe might be alienating to atheists or followers of other religions. For people to adopt a plant-based diet, our movement needs to be inclusive and connect with a large majority of people who probably identify as animal lovers and are concerned about the environment. Consumers are also concerned about the safety of veganism, even though every major health board has published a peer-reviewed statement in support of them. To date, Vietnam has failed to acknowledge that. We are at STC working on that, but it will take some time. We also felt that consumers were scared this lifestyle change would be met with criticism from parents and friends, perhaps conveying the idea that vegans or vegetarians are lonely, antisocial, and single. So with all these considerations in mind, we look to try and define what veganism is in a way that dispelled some of the stereotypes and focused on building online and, pandemic permitting, offline community events such as movie screenings, talks, and festivals. We believe that if we choose to engage animal lovers, we'll attract more interest and more people to our cause. So we focus on more tangible physical outcomes such as better health, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, and the need for better animal welfare rather than any spiritual benefit. The importance of social media. Social media is the easiest way to reach a lot of people. It's estimated that Vietnamese consumers spend over 2 hours a day using social media, with Facebook being the most popular platform, closely followed by TikTok. With our attempts to meaningfully connect with people on the streets, it meant that we could perhaps interest around 80 people in our cause. But we felt with a careful social media strategy, we could engage so many more people. And now, thanks to our efforts to develop a vegan curious community, our content is seen by 1 million people, engaging nearly 200,000 people every week. And in 2 years of serious operation, we have nearly 140,000 followers across all our social media platforms. We achieve this by creating a variety of content for people at various stages of their interest. On our main social media channels, we communicate ideas that are open to all by sharing messages that are positive, focus on how amazing animals are, and some of the benefits that a plant-based diet can have. For people that have already shown more of an interest in behavior change, we provide content that better suits their curiosity. At this stage, we might talk about farming practices, share feature-length documentaries, or even share factory farm footage. When possible, we like to organize monthly events with a similar aim, also including the benefit of connecting with followers who are curious about what we do and are encouraged or want to support us, and also perhaps inquire about a career in animal rights advocacy. changing people's attitude towards animal product consumption. How do we do it? It needs to be something that disrupts the stereotype. That's why the release of the Game Changers, I feel, was such an important and significant milestone for attitude towards veganism in Vietnam. The reaction to muscular and powerful plant-based athletes on social media was phenomenal. So phenomenal, in fact, that our release of the Game Changers trailer with Vietnamese subtitles has garnered more views and engagement than the trailer released in English. An important part of changing attitudes is changing people's perceptions of what veganism is about. We need to make veganism more appealing. It needs to be cool. Much as I dislike that word, it needs to be a lifestyle change that can excite people and one that people can support. One of our campaigns we have yet to launch due to COVID complications was centered on veganism being cool. And we look to reach out to other cool people to help spread that message. You see, one of the most effective marketing techniques is to use influencer marketing, where a celebrity or influencer uses the positive associations of their character to endorse a product or service. Once you begin to notice it, you'll see it everywhere. Apple, Samsung, Coca-Cola, and the world's biggest brands have always used influencers to endorse their products and connect with a large and aligned audience. Celebrities or social media influencers are often referred to as KOLs, or Key Opinion Leaders. If you Google KOL, you'll see a KOL defined as people or organizations that have such a strong social status that their recommendations and opinions are listened to when making important decisions. Good examples of key opinion leaders are political figures, columnists, and celebrities who are known for their work. However, I think the most important thing a KOL can do is to filter out the noise. You see, a typical social media user sees around 1,500 posts a day, so it can be difficult for consumers to decide what is worth paying attention to. That's where KOLs come in. It's the digital equivalent of a word-of-mouth recommendation from a close friend. When we considered our campaign, we didn't look to work with established vegan stars. We wanted to work with cool celebrities who understood the benefits of a plant-based diet but weren't plant-based themselves. But importantly, they were willing to share that message with their young audience who are becoming increasingly more concerned about animal rights and environmental issues. We wanted to work with influencers who could show that eschewing animal products isn't just for the religious, yoga enthusiasts, or dieters. It could be for anyone. Most importantly, I think if executed well, these kind of campaigns help for longer-term influence versus traditional campaigns executed from a single source that can be quickly forgotten. On to my next point. Making people aware of the cruelty in animal products without showing it. I believe for many, behavior change is created by a strong emotional reaction. Using slaughterhouse footage will surely create an emotional response, and we see it as an important tactic, but perhaps a little divisive. We felt this approach didn't sit correctly within the inclusive brand that STC wanted to create, so we rarely share such footage on our social media channels. So we've looked to highlight the amazing stories of farmed animals escaping slaughter, or the tales of cows reuniting with their offspring after being separated by the dairy industry. Let me share a quick example here.
Wondering if that might be her baby?
Yeah, we're gonna keep him.
But that is her baby?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
She seems lonely.
Yeah, she's incessantly screaming for her, and the only other time I've seen a cow do that is when the cow was missing its young. I would really love to have them together. That would be really, really great.
Well, yeah.
Hi.
What's going on?
We got him.
Is that her baby?
Yeah.
You have him.
Yep.
You have him.
When the baby heard his mom, he started crying. And then when the mom heard the baby, she started crying. So they started mooing to each other back and forth. When we opened the trailer, he ran right to her. They walked away together and they've been inseparable since. They love their babies just like we do, and they want to raise their babies just like we do. In the dairy industry, the girls hold the value because they make the milk, and the boys are a byproduct that nobody wants and ultimately end up being slaughtered. So they don't see them the way that we see them. But for us, oh my God, it's a mommy and her precious baby. And we're working really, really hard to create a world that sees them that way.
Well, before STC, I was learning more about digital marketing and the idea of a sales funnel. They vary in terms of wording and staging, but the concept is the same. How do you turn a stranger into a lifelong, valuable customer? But in our case, how do we change a stranger into someone who takes action for animals? One of the things I felt was most fundamental to our cause was to find a way to help people transition from the awareness stage to making a lifestyle change that has a positive effect for animals. That's where our vegan challenge was born.
Chào các bạn, hôm nay mình muốn giới thiệu đến các bạn một thử thách sẽ giúp cho các bạn khỏe hơn, tiết kiệm hơn và còn bảo vệ cả môi trường nữa. Đó chính là Vegan Challenge, thử thách ăn thuần chay trong 7 ngày. Vậy chế độ ăn thuần chay là gì? Đó chính là chế độ ăn hoàn toàn từ thực vật, không chỉ loại bỏ thịt, cá mà còn cả trứng, sữa bò và cả mật ong nữa. Vậy thì tại sao chế độ ăn thuần chay lại có ích như vậy? Chỉ với một ngày ăn thuần chay, các bạn đã có thể giảm được 4.400 lít nước, tương đương với 1.162 tô phở, 20 kg ngũ cốc, tương đương với 533 ổ bánh mì và gần 10 kg lượng khí nhà kính, tương đương với 5 chiếc xe hơi trong 1 tiếng. Chưa kể sẽ giúp bạn cảm thấy khỏe hơn, tránh được các bệnh tim mạch, tiểu đường và hỗ trợ giảm cân nữa.
Ngoài ra, bạn còn bảo vệ mạng sống của một sinh vật nữa đó.
Tuyệt quá, nhưng ăn chay khó lắm, lại còn thiếu chất nữa.
Ôi, em chưa bao giờ ăn chay hết, làm sao bắt đầu đây?
Đừng lo, vì mình sẽ giúp các bạn. Với thử thách 7 ngày thuần chay, Sống thuần chay sẽ mang đến những video hàng ngày, lời khuyên và mẹo nhỏ để bạn có thể thực hiện một cách cực kỳ dễ dàng. Hãy nhấn vào nút bên dưới để đăng ký, nhận tin hàng ngày để biết cách thưởng thức những món ăn thuần chay thật ngon miệng và nhận được những ưu đãi thú vị. Còn bạn còn chần chờ gì nữa? Hãy nhấn vào nút bên dưới và tag thêm bạn bè mình cùng tham gia nhé!
So I'd like to briefly describe the idea of a sales funnel. So we start with the awareness stage. For us, this stage might be someone seeing one of our videos about Maybell that you saw earlier, or the Game Changers documentary. It creates interest or curiosity. The next stage is interest. This might mean that they look on our website and they see that we're offering a free vegan cookbook and they feel comfortable downloading it. The next stage is decision. That means they might try our vegan challenge where they commit to a vegan lifestyle for 7 days. And then the final stage might be commitment. This might mean that someone wants to make the change permanent, consider volunteering for us, or look to build a career in animal rights advocacy, which I believe is an important and vital step for the future of the animal rights movement in Vietnam. By building an online community of people taking the pledge, we are seeing that even though we ask for a 7-day commitment, we have seen that of those surveyed, 80% have pledged to reduce or end their animal product consumption. Also, worthy of note is that 60 of people who have taken part in the challenge still contribute to the community by sharing recipes, tips, and advice, from things as simple as where to buy plant-based milk to how to deal with a difficult social situation. This has been one of our guiding principles for all the work that we do. We believe it's a long way to go to develop the similar level of interest that we see in the West, but we're confident that this is a safe, effective, and sustainable way to help change consumer attitudes, help plant-based businesses achieve more success, and lay the foundation for more work that helps farmed animals in the future. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be available to answer questions. If you would like, you can connect with me. I'll put my email address here. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations today. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, great. That was a great video. Very, very cute, very interesting as well. I especially loved the vegan challenge introduction video. So yeah, I guess now we have, more time to do the Q&A, and this can be more interactive. If anybody has any question, just feel free to unmute themselves and just let's talk. So let me start first. When I was watching Rolly's presentation, I had a question actually on, you said that there are multiple target audience and we cannot obviously target them all at once, but how do you figure out, how do you define which target audience would be great for us to target first? You could just expand more on that.
Thank you, Amanda. When we try to define the target audience, the one thing that we have to consider is who are the biggest populations, and then first is we're doing the sample, we're doing a survey first, and then we can find that, for example, that we found that the young mother, you know, that they're willing to do something on the food and animal antibiotic resistance issues. So that's why we want to target them first, because they are the big populations. They already built their awareness, their concerns, so they can be an influencers to others. So this is the first step that we can target it. Then this target group can also become an influential to others. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Does anybody else have any questions? Don't be shy. Yes, from Scott's presentation, I know that it would be very useful for like our team. For example, we have some of our team members joining who is working on the vegan challenge. Some of them are working in the communication team to engage the public. So I think it will be very interesting for them. I don't know if they have any further questions. I know that one of the things that we'll take from the presentation is definitely we'll be trying to like translate videos like that one that you showed more. We've got a question from Tata to Scott. Do you target a specific audience? I can see that your audience are mainly young people, right? And in urban areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that sort of at the beginning, I felt that, we started as a grassroots organization. So this was kind of like my hobby. But as sort of like as we've grown, we've seen that like we put out a lot of kinds of content, and we try to cover various interests. So it might be the environment, it might be animals, and it might be health. And kind of one of the great things about digital marketing or digital media is that you can see that information, who's engaging with it, and then also retarget them if your kind of digital tools are sophisticated enough. But we're not targeting anyone specifically. Like I said, we're trying to make it quite inclusive, but it does tend to be mostly women from 24 to 35 that have an interest, followed by the 18 to 24 age group. We know that we've done surveys before. For a lot of people, their main interest is in their health. So yeah, we kind of we do respond to that, but yeah, we're trying to like cover all bases, and I think that we're seeing a lot of different people are doing the vegan challenge. It's not just people in Ho Chi Minh City, but yeah, unfortunately, like for us, the COVID pandemic greatly affected Ho Chi Minh City, and although a lot of Vietnam was sort of business as normal, we saw that like 70% or 60% of our audience was in Saigon. So yeah, it made it quite difficult, I feel, to launch at that time. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Scott.
You're
We have a few more questions. We have one from Paul from Sinergia Animal. Paul asked, when you contact influencers to promote the challenge, what do you usually offer them and how do you approach them?
So what we did, initially we were like I said, we were trying to do everything from like a grassroots level. And we initially contacted influencers who were aligned with our values, because we felt that they would be more inclined to support us. But still, like, I think what we found is that a lot of these influencers have agents, and they have kind of a team to kind of manage their inquiries. So, I mean, we were quite fortunate that we were, we through our pursuit of people with certain skills, we were able to connect with someone who has worked with influencer marketing before. So sort of like when we were able to fundraise to start the project, it was a question of who we wanted rather than who we could get. Like I said, we were trying to target people who were cool, because there is this kind of quite negative stereotype about vegans in Vietnam, and we thought, well, if there's people who are young, health conscious, and supporting veganism, it will at least make people aware of it. And I think that our online representation is quite strong. I think it might help to break people's stereotypes that sort of being vegan means like being celibate or something like that, because that can happen to me sometimes.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah,
I hope that answered your question as well.
Oh, sorry, what was it? He said, what can we offer them as well, right? I think I forgot. I don't know if we can offer them much, but I think I mean, we're, people see that we are like a charity, and we're trying to help make a positive change in society. So I think there is some benefit that we offer to the KOL, but a KOL has over 10 million social media followers, right? So I'm not sure how much our small kind of channel can change, but yeah, it might help.
Thank you. I think we have one last, comment and question as well. So from Tan, Tan says, great finding and strategy from both organizations. How do you think the AFA coalition could support your fantastic work? So this goes to both of you, Ruli and Scott.
Okay, can I start? Yeah. Thank you, Tan. I think we can document our key learning, and then we can put it in the somehow in website or in the social media. I think since most of the organization also has doing their own survey or their own research, so I think AFA can provide a good platform how we can share our resources, because this is also really important how we can work collaboratively in the regions. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Scott, do you have anything to add?
So how can the AFA support us? I mean, I think the work that you're doing is great, and like, I mean, this is quite strange because for me, because I kind of, 2-3 years ago, it was just something I did on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, was just have a laptop with slaughterhouse footage on it and talk to people about it, and connecting with other organizations like yourselves. It just kind of opened things up, so that helped tremendously. But yeah, I think for us, like, we need to, I'm not sure how, we can talk about that later, but we need to we need to find a way to make charity work more professional in Vietnam. So for a lot of people, some of my staff, they're actually like embarrassed to tell their parents what they do, because their parents will look at it quite negatively. Charities are not often, it's very difficult to establish a non-profit organization in Vietnam. And like, because we're like a grassroots, starting from the beginning and growing up, we are like a for-profit organization. And then, there's also like the other obstacles that we have is like, my experiences in branding and design, and we've built a really successful social media channel, but there are other things that we need to build that I think that I would look to try to fundraise for, so that maybe we can have representatives from large organizations, perhaps Sinergia, to help kind of establish other things that Thuần Chay could do to try and capitalize on our brand awareness, because I think like some people think that we are famous now. They use that word. So I think the more awareness we have, the better it will be for our cause.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's good if all of us can work together towards the same goal. Yeah, I think we have a time for one last question from Yana, if you want to unmute yourself. Sure.
Yes, I have a question for Scott. So you said that one of your strategies is to connect with the influencers or the cool people.
Yeah.
These cool people, since they're not as passionate as us in issues such as animal rights or animal advocacy, what if they switch their stance in the future, as we've seen before? For example, Miley Cyrus, who was vegan for a while, and then she suddenly went back to eating that it made her feel weak. So my question is, how do we prevent such potential reputational damage if our organization image is tied with the influencer's image?
Yeah, so I mean, I get that point. The like we've had this conversation with Challenge 22. I would say, like, to quickly answer that question, I would say that these influencers they don't portray themselves as vegan. They just endorse it, and they share why they think you should join the vegan challenge. So I don't think it's a case of like they're representing veganism, and by kind of not maintaining a vegan lifestyle, they kind of damage it. I don't really think that Vietnam has that kind of scene in the West. So there are a few vegan influencers in Vietnam, and they have like posted their meal, and it's included an egg. and we don't see like the long-term vegans kind of riding their back, like, oh, you call yourself a vegan and you're eating an egg. I think that's quite a Western mindset, and I don't think Vietnamese people kind of react in that way. But yeah, that's certainly a concern that we've had. But kind of like I said, I felt that it was it's really difficult. It's just a matter of you know, reaching the largest amount of people, making people change their mind. And you know, even actually one of our supporters who identifies as a vegan or as a vegetarian, has 3 or 4 restaurants in the city, is now advocating for her followers to consume worms as a COVID treatment. So I mean, we just can't trust celebrities in any way. But yeah, we just kind of like we want to change that mindset, and I think at the Vietnam stage, we think that's a good strategy, because it can't just be us talking about the benefits of veganism. It has to be other people, I think. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. That's very interesting approach. I think due to our time, if nobody else has any more questions, I think that this would be it. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation, and especially Scott and Ruli. And we hope this is useful for all of you as much as it's very useful for me. We still have other sessions for NGO and also the public session that you can visit and register. I will put the link in the chat box, and it's very nice to be here. Thank you so much, everybody, again. I'll see you,
Amanda.
hopefully. Thank you. Hope to see you guys soon.
Facilitating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Amanda.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.